Yeah, I don't think the heavy stuff's gonna start for a while.
And it has been one hell of a journey to get out here to Montana.
Definitely working for it. Can't say we didn't work for it, that's for sure.
I can't sit still, it's blowing so hard out here. There's gotta be elk out there though.
We just need them to be in here, somewhere in here, so.
Man, it has been one hell of a journey to get out here to Montana. And we're just now getting to the gate to go the 7-mile ATV ride to our wall tents. I started in Nashville 3 days ago now, on Wednesday, and got to Sioux Falls, and I hit snow all the way. So I was white knuckling it for 2.5 days. We're gonna hop in with these guys, go have some fun in the mountain. Woo-hoo. All right, it's a party.
I'm Glen Eberlr. I own a company called Eberlr Stock, and we make outdoor gear.
Good morning, everybody. There's my home for the week, right over there. It got cold in the middle of the night. I used up all the wood last night keeping the tent warm, so I'm gonna load in some wood since we can't really get out and hunt tonight. So I'm gonna prepare for a very cold evening. These are the cardboard logs.
Yeah, lightweight.
They burn fast. Need to get these guys some hedge or some oak. We'll burn all night long on one log. Might seem obvious, but obviously we're chopping wood because up here in camp at the top of a mountain, that's the only thing that's going to keep you warm at night.
Yeah, I don't think the heavy stuff's gonna start for a while. You know, they're here trying to put their weight back on after the rut. When this happens to them, they just keep moving and get out of here, get closer to food. You know, they'll lose up to 120, sometimes 150 pounds during a rut. All they do is fight and breed and chase raghorns away, satellites away from their cows. So for 2 months, you know, they lose so much weight, they got to put it back on to survive the winter, you know.
Overnight, the temperature has dropped significantly. And everything that we need is frozen stiff. So we're trying to get this one machine cranked up and ready to go, and find maybe an extra battery to take with us or something. Working for it, but can't say we didn't work for it, that's for sure. I mean, it gets thicker and thicker the further we get up.
It's rifle hunting in the snow. If they were everywhere, everybody'd be doing it, right? Nah, we'll find them. I do think we need a couple nice days of weather to get them traveling, but this is the first nice day we've had in 2 days. As this starts to settle out, they'll dig for that feed. Yeah. If they're back here, as opposed to, you know, if we can find where some bulls that were in here pre-storm and are still in here, I don't think they're gonna move far. You know, they're gonna feed, because they're really not that far if they're in here from getting out. You know, it's not like they got to go ridge after ridge after ridge. If they go east over the head wall, you know, they're in the Smith River, the Marias River drainage. So it just falls down into the Smith River. So it's flat, you know, goes out into some alfalfa and agriculture. Most of those ranches to the east.
My hip flexors, definitely feeling my hip flexors more than anything.
This is a great workout.
Kept going through my mind as we were walking up here. Logistically, if we get a bowl down, we corner it out of here. Wow, I felt like I was backing a bowl in.
You know, Matt, this is everything I could ever want. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a couple elk. This is fun, right? Right? It is fun, right?
We had high hopes, you know, we were in the side-by-side, scooped out the bridge, got over the bridge, got about 50 yards, we couldn't go any further, and took a lot of runs at it, but we've been walking since about 9 o'clock this morning, trudging through, let's say a good 2 to 3 feet of snow at some points.
Here's to killing an elk sometimes.
The blood of an elk right here. Got up here in good time. My tread machine helped out a ton, but these guys saw a bunch of fresh tracks. I instantly saw fresh tracks right when we walked up on the base of this hill, so we're going to try and circle around and just take our time, because I think there's a couple bulls in here. And then this is a prime spot where all these big bulls down on the meadow come up to kind of bed down and feed a little bit and graze. So we're just going to take our time. We got lots of time. Circle around, stop this glass and see what we can see, because I got a good feeling about today. A lot of good feelings.
It's at least a day old.
When we started over there, I didn't think it was this far over here. But it's going to be a pretty epic vantage point to look at this whole property and see these herds that are moving through here. Mark seems to think there's a herd on the other side of that mountain. It's going to travel in here around the 1, 2 o'clock maybe. And that's when we might get an opportunity. There's 2 bulls clear off in the prairie. I mean, 2 miles away, just bedded down out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of odd. So we're going to cruise up here to the top of this little island point and just have a look and kind of pick this place apart and see what we can see and see what's moving towards us or away from us, and just have a good sit for a while.
They're out of reach geographically. They're not on the property, but we've got a fair amount of sign in here from definitely bulls. Single tracks here and there. It's still very difficult to get around. So it's made things a challenge. This sucks. Everything's deep. Pretty good sized herd. A bunch of cows and spikes.
There's a lot of them. A ton of them. It's always good to stay positive, but when everything is so far out of reach, it's hard to stay positive. But I think we might have had a little bit too much movement right here. Just looking at those tracks that came over, I think something came over and saw us and just took a corner, took off. That's just my opinion. But I don't know. It's speculation. Sitting here and getting to hang out on the mountain, it kind of takes me back to my childhood when I used to just go out by myself with my old black powder rifle
western Nebraska in the woods there. Mom and Dad didn't care if I just went out by myself, but you just sit and listen. All you hear is the wind blowing through the trees. The cold air, man. Takes you back.
Currently they're 3.5 miles away. They'll be here any minute.
We're seeing a ton of animals. I mean, everything's just out of reach, you know, quite a ways away, but at least we're seeing lots of animals.
I want to thank y'all for tuning into my show, Hoge Wild. Be sure to check out my new single and current releases on Apple Music, Pandora, Spotify, and of course lucashoge.com. While you're there, check out the store and all of our tour schedule and see if we're going to be in a city near you. And I can't thank y'all enough for watching Hoge Wild.
To the right of it, the linear open meadow.
Yep. Well, we've been here just glassing all day, in that same bowl that we've been watching all morning long. I think at some point we're gonna have to make a move on in here in the next couple hours.
That's the longest, straightest ridge up, just in case we get a funky wind swirl. I want to come in from the north of them.
As we busted up this mountain, and this bowl we're at, bedded about 300 yards in front of us. Look, I'm the only one sweating bullets.
This is a beautiful day. Got a nice stock going. Blake's gonna pop this guy out. This Tim's got him right down. Just keep it down.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, he's good at living up here. We gotta be careful. Well, we're about 100 yards from where that boat bed, and he's screened by standing launch pole, so we're pondos, so we can't quite tell if he's still there or not. And that is that. Awesome. Now we got some work to do.
Good job, man.
Puts blood down.
That's awesome,
That's
brother.
your turn.
Good work.
Good job, bro.
Good one.
Lucas and I are gonna go hunting.
Yeah, see you guys. Let us know when you got the back straps out so we can eat them.
All right, we're eating elk.
It's the last day, and it is windy up here on Windy Point. Mark said forecast said it's going to start coming down for the next couple hours, but we're going to start scanning this entire area right here and see if some bulls come out and make our move, man.
Some guys grid it right to left, left to right, up and down, but just look for some, you know,
For sure.
take a mental note what you see in the snow.
I think we need to find a different place to sit. I can't sit still, it's blowing so hard out here. There's gotta be elk out there though. Oh, God. It just screws with my head. My patience drops. Can't sit still. Windy sucks. Wind sucks.
We just need them to be in here. We got a few spots as we go along that pop, that open up, and we'll sit down, glass it, move up the ridge to the head of the basin. There's a giant fin of rock that sticks out, which just gives you the whole view of the basin.
Mark's been calling around. He just said everything's gone. The herd down on the alfalfa's gone. The big 18 bulls that have been floating around the base here, coming up and over, they're gone. Nobody can find the. Everything is just disappeared, it seems like.
I can only guess that they've been pressured so much that they're just steering clear. I don't think they're dumb. I think they realize that there's 3 properties trying to kill them. So we need them to show up right here. I think we'll slide down to this point where we can see a little more.
Seen 2 nice looking bulls right off our property though, so we can't go get them. So we kind of have to ignore the fact that they're there unless they start moving their way down here. But we're coming into the last few hours of a great hunt. I mean, it's been great. It's been beautiful. But I'd sure like to fill my freezer as well. I'm going to keep scanning, see what we can find. Diamond in the rough out there.
And now to be able to end, the hunt the entire week with these bulls in our sights just off the property. It's just the reality of it. You gotta play the border game and the boundary game. There's 3 bulls about 900 yards away. And if they don't come to us now, they won't. But I'm okay with that because we'll come back and see them again. This is amazing property. I'm hanging out with Mark, super knowledgeable guide, great guy, a mountain goat. He will run you into the ground. But really looking forward to coming back here someday. Maybe an archery tag would be cool.
Doesn't even care.